Hi, hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. A
Yeah,
pleasure to be
thanks.
here.
Yeah, excited to have you here also. So thank you so much for taking out the time to join and help our MBA aspirants, students to learn from you. So we will have the session centered around IIM Calcutta Life, placements, internships, extracurriculars, as well as CAT preparation strategies since CAT is quite close by, and also your own unique advices, experiences that you would like to share about IIM Calcutta Life. That would be great. So let's get started with you, Aditya. Would love for you to introduce yourself a bit in brief
Yeah,
about how
sure.
you're doing.
Hello everyone. Aditya here. So my journey began with me being in engineering. I'm a mechanical engineer, or so I was in my past life. And that is when I realized that this is something I did not see myself doing in long term. Hence, the need to do something else. I explored a lot of options, and MBA made sense. Post my engineering, I worked with EXL Analytics for 2 years. That gave me a lot of perspective. And that's when I realized that the decision to do an MBA made a lot more sense. And that's how I ended up at IIM Calcutta. Had amazing 2 years there. I interned with Bank of America, got a full-time offer there. And Post Bank of America, now I'm currently working at a fintech startup, Navi, as a program manager. And apart from work and studies, I like to cook, read, write, play tennis, and golf. That's pretty much about me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aditya, for the introduction. I would love to later on cover in more detail about certain aspects. And if the students have any questions relevant to Aditya for Aditya, like given his context about EXL analytics or Navi or fintech in general, please feel free to post it. So I'm just opening the Q&A and we'll start taking questions after all the participants have introduced themselves. Thanks, Aditya. Let's move on to Ayush. Ayush, would love for you to introduce yourself for the
Yeah.
benefit of participants.
Thanks for having me. So I have been a finance guy throughout. I did my bachelor's of commerce from Xavier's. Post that, I worked for 2 years in a CA firm in Calcutta, where I was working on mergers and acquisitions in agriculture and real estate. And then I decided to go for MBA since, of course, just doing a BCom won't hold much value. So then I joined IIM Calcutta, where again post that I again came back to finance because that I was excited about. So I joined a venture capital firm named Ivy Cap Ventures, where I'm working currently in the investment team. So yeah, that's a bit about me. Happy to answer any queries you guys might.
Thank you so much, Ayush, for the introduction. So, if the participants have any queries specific to CA or specific to venture capital in general, we'll direct them to Ayush. Thanks a lot, Ayush, for taking out the time. Let's move on to Ria, who is a current student at IIM Calcutta. So, Ria, you're closer to the participants and closer to the CAT preparation strategies that you can share in general. So, would love for you to cover your background. What were you doing before joining IIM Calcutta, and how did you decide to join IIM Calcutta?
Sure. Firstly, it's an honor to be here. And so I did my undergrad, I did like a BSc Finance, so my undergrad from NMIMS Mumbai. So, like Ayush, even I was pretty sure that like finance and business was something that I wanted to get into. I'm a fresher, so I graduated this year and then I directly joined IIM Calcutta because I thought like the MBA would obviously help me like little further my knowledge and that sort of thing, which is why I directly pursued an MBA. And now I'm here. I am currently in my second term. And yeah, that's all about me, I guess.
Would like to understand is how was your experience preparing for IIM Calcutta, that is giving the CAT examination. How was your preparation strategy? Because I think CAT is very close by, so it would be very helpful if you could share some tips for somebody who has just 1 month of examination to go. So starting with Aditya and then we'll go to Ria.
So I think I would just focus on the strategy for last 1 month. It is mostly don't try anything new now. I hope you had a lot of time to practice your strategies. Now you have a fair understanding of what are your strengths and weaknesses. So just try to focus on your strengths. And if you have made notes of your errors or any particular type of sets or questions in let's say quants or DILR, you're getting it wrong. quite often. Do a quick revision of those errors. Ensure you don't repeat your errors. And I think the best thing you can do for this last 1 month is be relaxed. Try to give mocks or analyze mocks during your time slot so that you get in the habit. Let's say your time slot is in the afternoon. Your mind becomes active during that slot. So try to do that. And I think mostly I would say just be calm and composed.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Aditya, for sharing that. Ayush would love for you to share your preparation strategy. So, meanwhile, I see some questions also coming in from participants. So, we'll take that questions also. Let's quickly get each perspective and then we'll take the questions by participants.
Yeah, so I echo Aditya's sentiments. I think at this point, you shouldn't try really something new or go into something very difficult. You already have revised the basic concepts. You have got your notes from coaching. Just revise them, keep on looking at them. And I think for me, the most important thing in my last one was practicing mocks. So practice as much as you can and basically analyze and try to find out where you're getting stuck. So at this point, it will just be crossing that mark. So for that, I think mocks would be your best friend. And of course, practicing in your time slot would help you a lot because that time you will get acquainted to being sitting there for that long of a time. So that is very important. And of course, stay relaxed. Do not worry. It's more about being calm then and it'll be all good. So yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Ayush. Priya would love for you to share your strategies.
Yeah. So, like Aditya and Ayush mentioned, it is like at the end of the day, it's nothing but like a mind thing. You have to be in the mindset to be able to give your CAT exam, especially during that time. So, practicing your mocks, like one thing that personally helped me was mocks, like the IMS mocks to give or like re-give the past ones that probably, you didn't do really well in, for example, and such. The mocks really helped me. And then kind of during this 1 month, finding your strategy about how would you go about the exam, like you can't be solving all the questions obviously, so kind of finding your own unique strategy which you'd obviously be able to do through the mocks is I think what you should be doing in this last 1 month.
Thanks a lot, Ria, for sharing that. So, Ayush, the next question is, I think, a little specific to you. So, the question is from Aditya. He mentions he's a CA as well as have experience in mergers and acquisition tax at Dhruva. So, getting into front end VC roles is very difficult and CAT scores are volatile. So, in case CAT doesn't work out, what should be the path to get into VC roles?
So thanks, Harry, for the question. Firstly, to clarify, I didn't complete my CA, but I think you're right. Getting into front-end VC role is definitely quite difficult. I got in through campus placement, so I could guess I was lucky. But again, if CAT doesn't work out, I feel if you're already a CA, you would definitely get opportunities because I know a lot of VC firms, DSG being one of them, they hire CAs. You just need to get that relevant experience. You can basically try to get some experience in startup, and maybe that will help you a lot. Also, doing a CFA also helps. So essentially, there's not necessary to be an MBA for getting into either PVC. And I think since you're a CA, I think private equity could be a much better option for you because private equity focuses a lot on core finance and they prefer CA much more than MBA or any other degree.
Thanks a lot, Ayush. So we have the next question from Rakshit. So Aditya would love for you to take this question. So it is from Rakshit, who's a civil engineer, and he was preparing for UPSC for last 1 year. Now he's planning to give CAT in 2025 with no work ex. So he's questioning his decision to take CAT, and he's asking for suggestions what to do.
So, Rakshit, firstly, I would like to tell you that you're not in this situation alone. It's not a unique situation. I've had batchmates who did UPSC prep before, applied for various government institutes, and then they decided that they want to go for CAT and get an MBA. So as long as you are, you have that clarity of thought and you're confident about your decision, and you are able to portray that in MBA interviews, I think that should not hold you back. You just have to explain how you decided that MBA would be a good fit for you. And I feel, in fact, UPSC prep adds to your profile. You develop unique perspectives, which most of your batchmates in your MBA classroom would not have. Like you read upon geopolitics and various public policies. So I think consider that as your USP and portray that.
Yeah, thanks. Ria and Ayush, would you like to add anything to this?
Like, yeah, like Aditya, like even in my batch, I do have batchmates as well as close friends who have done UPSC and then I hear. It's not something that should deter you from giving CAT or even trying to aim for an MBA. It's they do bring a different perspective, and MBA schools right now, like B schools right now, are trying to have a very diverse group of students in the classroom because they want to try and bring that like that perspectives from every angle. So that shouldn't be like something that should deter you at all.
Yeah, I go with Aditya and Ria's sentiments. In our batch, we had quite many folks who had prepared for UPM and join up and come for MBA, so that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So if you have any clarifications on that question, please feel free to post in and we can ask again. Meanwhile, there's a question from a participant, which is how did you choose finance after engineering? Like, were you interested in finance from the start, or how did you choose to go into finance? So let's start with Aditya, and then we'll move to Ayush.
I think I'm the only engineer here.
I can't help you with that.
Okay, so I think this goes back to when I was with the Excel Analytics. I worked with a lot of banks and fintech startups as a consultant, but mostly from analytics point of view. But I did find the industry a bit interesting, and since I had a little bit of context and inclination towards that, that was one of the options I had in mind. And during summers, I had multiple, options. I had some good consulting shortlists, and I had a banking shortlist, and luckily I converted Bank of America. And my thought process was to, give it a try, see how it goes. Because anyway, if I, let's say, didn't like finance, I could go back to consulting or product management or any other field in the finals. So I took up that internship. I really liked what I did there. And then, as I got more interested in finance, I took electives in my second year and I quite enjoyed it. So, I would say that if you are a bit confused, try to talk to people who have done this and try to figure out that if you like that type of work, if you enjoy those subjects. I feel that coming from a engineering background shouldn't hold you back from, getting into finance.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Aditya, for sharing about that. All right. So let's move to the next questions, which is around internship process. So this is one of the most asked questions usually in all of our sessions as to how to crack good internships, because you just enter the college and it's been few months and then the internship process starts. We would love to know all three of your views on how to prepare for internships and how is the process like in brief. So if somebody is going to enter MBA, what should they be aware of beforehand? So let's start with Aditya and go to Ayush and then Ria.
Okay, so as soon as you enter any B school, the first thing you'll start preparing for is your summer placement, which is like a good 2 terms away almost. But that is the good thing, that all your seniors and all your placement committees and everyone will start you off right at the very beginning. So I think what you can do, like this is not for right now, when you know you are going to join a B school, you can just start creating a master resume of sorts that lists all everything you have done till now, no matter how big or small that is. That will save you some time. And I would say don't worry about it. Everyone, like this process happens every year, and the seniors and all the committees will guide you right through it. You start with preparing your CV, and then second step is applying to all the companies. So I would say that in B school you have limited resources in terms of time and effort. So be a bit thoughtful about where you want to invest that. Like select 2 or 3 sectors and type of roles. Speak to people, seniors, get a perspective. Don't try to spread yourself thin by applying to everything and anything under the sun. I think that would be over to you, Aish.
Yeah, so again, I also feel the same. Like for your summer internship, you shouldn't worry a lot right now. But again, as Aditya said, you should have all your, should at least collect all the points, whichever you have your master CV. Try and prepare that. whatever you have done, because you'll need those points. And also, if it's matlab, you don't have a lot of time till your summer internship, but maybe if you can try and get 1 or 2 points, like participate in some events. So before joining college, there are events which come up, and even in the beginning. So you should try and maybe participate in few of those and get a good CV point, win a case competition. That will help you a lot. And apart from that, you should again keep your focus area. Like you should know. So there, like finance, there are few sectors: finance, marketing, ops, so or consulting. So you should know that which one you're interested in. If not, just go and read about all of them, which what sort of companies come in them, and try and find out which sector interests you or where you want to go, and then probably choose two of them and prepare about them. Talk to seniors, talk to people. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ayush. Ria, over to you.
Yeah, so I think Aditya and Ayush covered most of it. One thing that I like during my journey particularly realized was that how important it is to talk to seniors. They've kind of been through this whole process, they've seen the whole thing, they know how it looks, how it will pan out, etc. So talk to them. I know it can be a little daunting when you're first joining an MBA like school and like a base school, and then there are a lot of seniors, a lot of them are way older than you, so it can be a little daunting sometimes, but don't let that stop you. They're very, like, especially at Cal, I think the camaraderie that both the seniors and the juniors have is like, it's very good. That's something that I really, really like about like IIM Cal is everyone's there for you. Like you have a senior who's going to be like there, they're ready to help and that. So just like reach out, try to understand where you'd probably, where your interests lie, and then kind of then work on your CV and then go ahead with that whole process.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ria, for sharing about that. So, Ayush, the next question is specific to you. It is from Aditya. It is about,
That's it.
yeah, thanks for sharing, Ayush. I think another part of the question was what skills are needed to get into VC. So, is it like you need to be good at financial modeling or market research or something else? Can you elaborate on that?
Just for everyone's knowledge, your host is also in VC. Yeah, but I feel like to get into VC, firstly, I think of course you need to know a bit of finance because you need to look at the MIS and projections. So of course you need, but not a lot of finance because again you're not building DCF and other stuff because we deal with companies which have negative cash flows, which are burning a lot of money. So again, that's not a very finance intensive role. But another very important skill set which I feel you need is at least the networking capability, having the ability to talk to a lot of people in the ecosystem, talking to a lot of founders. That's very important on a day-to-day basis. And of course, the ability to process a lot of information and getting the right insights, that's very important. So like if you can read a lot of articles or a lot of reports and get the good insights, that's some sort of skill set they'll look at. And of course, you should love startups because essentially you'll be surrounded by them all day. So you need to be able to like enjoy talking to them. So yeah, that's
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ash, for sharing that in detail. So let's go over to the next question. So next question is around what is the best part? What was the best part of your IMC life? So let's start with Ria. Ria is just living her IMC life right now, and then we'll go to Ayush and Aditya.
The best part would be, so there are two things that I really enjoy here. So like Aditya mentioned, we study hard, but we party harder. So that is one thing that I really enjoy. We do have like a lot of events that are constantly going on. There's something or the other that's happening around campus. And so participating in that. So we have like where we have section wars, which is basically a kind of sports event where each section plays against the other. So that it's like a whole week where it spans over. That was really fun. So all of those events over that, like over your span, it's an everyday thing. Like almost every day, there's something or the other that's going on. So that's one thing that I really, really enjoy and like over here.
Yeah, thanks a lot for sharing about that. It's amazing that every day you have some event, something new to learn, and keeps our campus life exciting. So Ayush, over to you.
yeah. So for me, I think again the campus, I go with Riya's sentiments. It's still we have a lot of events and again a lot of parties as Aditya said, we party, we work hard, but we party harder. So essentially every other day there'll be parties and of course. But again, another part of it is that, of course, since it's an IIM, so there are people coming from diverse backgrounds. So from different geographical or different educational backgrounds. So again, you talk to them, you learn a lot. If you get to know everyone's viewpoint, and again, it's quite interesting to speak to so many people, and at least, and you feel I felt privileged that I got an opportunity to be among such smart people and learn from them, basically. So yeah, that was quite exciting, and of course, but again, parties are the first.
Yeah, thanks Ayush for sharing the genuine truth. Parties were the first and then everything else. So yeah, over to Aditya. Do you also echo that sentiment?
Yeah, I do echo that sentiment. In fact, when you asked this question, I was going through the list and I was like, I cannot pick any one thing. It's just everything I enjoyed in campus. Like, to name a couple of things, playing tennis with our professors. And then there's this event called Sangharsh, where you have all the, like, you have folks from IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, and Lucknow competing in like different sports. And during our year, we were the hosts. So lots of fun banter, sledging, and you make a lot of friends from other IIMs during this time. So that was quite a lot of fun. And I think apart from partying, one thing that I enjoyed was playing poker. So IIM Calcutta is, I think, the only IIM that has a special society and club dedicated to poker. So we take our poker very seriously, and there's a poker culture in the campus.
That's amazing, I think, Aditya. Thank you for sharing that. And this is very motivating, I think, for the participant to know the reality that it's so much fun apart from just academics. So it's really nice to know that. So let's go over to the next question. The next question is around if you were to do something differently in your IMC life, any advices you have, like from your own experiences? That you could share that would help the participant. So the question is, if you could relive your IMC life, what would you like to do differently? So let's start with Aditya.
So I think one thing that happens is that when you start this journey, you sort of connect with some people and you hang out with them, study with them. One advice I would give is that don't just limit yourself to your circle. There are like 480 folks in your batch, 480 folks in your senior batch, and there'll be people from other programs, there'll be professors. So, try to be open, interact with a lot of people. They'll have different perspectives. Try to learn from them. I think I started doing this a bit late. I would advise you to be a bit more open right from the very beginning.
Yeah, thanks a lot for sharing. Ria, what about you?
I don't think I have been here long enough to be able to say what I would do differently, but I'd say in this, like the few months that I've been here, one thing that I'll probably do differently is try and put myself more out there. I am kind of a little introverted person and I do think twice before I do anything. But this place is not somewhere where you want to like think twice. You want to, if there's an opportunity, I'd say go for it, take it. It doesn't matter if you're bad at something, just like try your hand at it. And then obviously you learn over time, you pick it up, you don't pick it up, it's fine, there's something else for you to do. So I think that would be one thing is like go out there, take the opportunity, seize opportunities that are given to you and that come to you. I think that is something that I would do differently.
Yeah, thanks a lot for sharing, Ria. What about you, Ayush?
Yeah, so for me again, I go with Aditya's sentiments that I too am an introvert. So again, I feel that one thing which if I could go back, I would probably network more since we have a batch of 480, and of course, I could easily say I had interacted with I think around 100 of them max. So that's quite unfortunate. I think should always network because again these are great, amazing folks and should basically going out of a comfort zone is quite important. And another thing is like in college, there are a lot of things going on. There's academics, there's extracurricular, there's events. So one thing which I could do is basically not to go and take so much stress because again you can't do everything. Just relax and focus on what's priority for me. So again, probably I feel that I didn't participate a lot in events, case competition. So maybe could do a bit more of that because then that was quite fun and exciting as well. So yeah, that would be something which I would do if I had to go back.
Yeah, thanks a lot for sharing, Ayush. So let's move over to the next question, which is about your interview experience before getting into Calcutta. So after the CAT exam was cleared and you were preparing for the interview, and how did the interview actually go? So basically, two parts of the same question. One is how did you prepare for the interview, and then how did it actually go like? So let's start with Ria. She has been the closest to this experience.
Yeah. So, to prepare for the interview, I kind of just, so I've done a BSc in finance, right? So they kind of would expect me to know a lot of financial terms and that sort of things. So I did brush up on what I had learned. I did go over like a bit more in detail, maybe I'd say, because at the end of the day, these are MBA professors who are taking your interview. So they do have knowledge if it's like a domain specific thing. So I did go a little more in depth about it, try to keep up with like current affairs. I think that's a really important thing that kind of did become like a little area of discussion during my interview as well, where we did discuss a little bit about current affairs and how it is affecting something. When it came to my interview as such, so IMCAL is known for being like an interview where you are asked a lot of math, especially like if you're an engineer or you have like a technical background, you do get asked a lot of math. So I'd say try and cover little basic topics of maths also. My interview, they didn't ask me that because we went more on the finance side of the aspects and current affairs, like I mentioned. They did go a little bit about like, okay, why do you want to do an MBA? Are you sure you want to do it like directly after studying? Don't you want to get like a little bit of work experience before you join and that sort of thing? So kind of just to gauge whether you're actually interested in doing this MBA or is it just like, oh, you're just doing it for the sake of doing it. So yeah, that is how my interview went.
Yeah, thanks a lot for sharing your experience, Riya. It's going to be quite helpful to the participants on how to prepare and what to answer, especially for the freshers. It's very important. They may also have that feeling that we are a fresher, so how do we answer that? So, going over to Ayush, would love for you to share your experiences.
Yeah, so it has been quite some time, but again, firstly talking about preparation. So again, of course, I one thing is very important is knowing your personal. So like, why do you want to get into MBA? Why want to do MBA? Why do you want to get into IMC? So those questions I had prepared very thoroughly, and of course, another thing is again, as I had done my bachelor's of commerce, so and I was quite focused on finance. Also, I had worked in M&A, so essentially just knowing all my revising my finance concepts and probably knowing of the current affairs also specifically focused on like what are the M&A deals which are happening in the industry, how the entire M&A process occurs. All of those are quite important, at least for me specifically. And of course, current affairs in general also like again I had taken a coaching, so of course reading news every day and knowing specific topics. So those were quite important. And my interview, so specifically, so my interview was focused a lot on finance and maths and also a bit of current affairs. So I remember I was asked a question around differentiation, also regarding like I remember the one of the questions was regarding mean calculation, like why a specific part of I can't remember exactly. It has been quite some time, but it was basically regarding. So they don't care about like they don't want you to calculate and everything, but more important is if you know the process and why something is happening, why do you use a specific function in maths. So that's where they test your ability. And in finance also, like since I was M&A, they had asked me how the M&A process occurs, what's the first thing you look at. So these are few things, and yeah, a bit of current affairs. So, but yeah, I think most important thing is of course being relaxed because I had read a lot of interviews and I'd seen that people had answered wrong questions, but they had gotten because they were quite relaxed. Because again, they are there to grill you. They're there to see your ability to take pressure. Because once you get into IIM, there will be like a lot of things which will be put up on you, and it will be a grueling. At least till your summer internship, it will be a lot of hard work. So how well do you withstand pressure? That's important. So I think most important thing is being calm. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, Aditya, over to you.
I think Riya and Ayush covered most of it. What I would like to add is you have to see their point of view. When the professors are interviewing you, what they are basically looking for is they're looking for people in their classroom. They want people who are like, can communicate their ideas well and confidently, and they add a different perspective to their classrooms, right? So that is something they test during interviews. Like, will this person be able to add to my classroom? And mostly, I would say when you're going, like when you're preparing for interviews, try to, get to know your own story. Try to jot it down, everything you have done, how it connects, how one thing connects to another. Because all the questions I feel basically revolve around this story. Like your why MBA would be answered by that story, your strengths and weakness would be answered by that story. So get that story right. And it's not a one day process. It's an iterative process. Keep working on that story. As and when you practice, you get better at it. And yeah, it's very important to be calm, as Ayush mentioned. That is something which I learned after a couple of interviews. That is something that they test. And coming to my interview, it's been almost 4 years now. I remember it because it was quite memorable for me because the professor who took my interview also taught me marketing, and that is the same professor I played tennis with later on. So it basically started with you are a mechanical engineer, then you went to data analytics, and now you want to get into MBA. It doesn't make sense to me at all what you want to do. You seem like a very confused lad. And I basically made sense of that journey, how one thing connected to another. And I think second part was basically math questions. I was asked to draw a couple of graphs. And yeah, so IIM Calcutta has a bit math heavy curriculum. So I think especially for IIM Calcutta interviews, I would suggest to brush up your math, practice a bit so that, the thing is, you'll know those questions. They are not very tough, but to be able to answer them during that interview environment, that is something that takes practice.
Thanks a lot, Aditya, for sharing your experience in detail. It's going to be quite helpful to the participants to help them prepare well. So, the next question is around the placement process. And, guys, we'll just take one or two last questions and then we'll end the session. I know it's the week, and I guess we should end the session. People want to chill soon. One important question we did want to cover is around the placement process. So we'll take views of Aditya and Ayush on that. Aditya, over to you. How was the placement process uh,
So,
and
uh, So basically, how the 2 year MBA program works is you appear for a summer internship process, and you do your internship at the end of first year for like a couple of months. And if you get an PPO, then you get an option to like go for it or appear again for final placements, which happen towards the later end of second year. That is how the logistics of the program work. How it was for me, I interned with Bank of America. I got a pre-placement offer, and I decided to take that. So I did not appear for finals, but a lot of my friends appeared. So I know the process a bit well. So I would say that during placements, what is expected from you is that now you have a bit more clarity. Now you have went through like almost 75% of your MBA, and you've also done your internships. So in placements, I think you should be a bit clear about which company or role you are targeting for. And now you have gotten the time to also build up your profile according to that. You can do case competitions and live projects and internships. And like be a part of clubs and committees. So that helps you build your profile specifically for that role or company. But having said that, placements can be a bit random. I've seen people who had planned quite well, but still, someone will get a offer better than what they had planned for, and someone will get an offer which is not what they expected, and it is bound to happen. But I feel that in the long term, you will end up where you want to be. Placement is just the first part of your post MBA journey. Like I joined Bank of America, but within a year I shifted to a fintech startup because I felt like that is something I want to do. So don't stress about placements quite a lot. Try to enjoy your MBA journey, but don't take them very lightly as well. Put in all your efforts.
yeah, thanks a lot, Aditya, for sharing in detail. Over to you, Ayush.
Yeah, so I think Aditya covered most of the things, but there are like majorly four sectors, as you guys must be aware: finance, marketing, ops, consulting. So there are different companies coming in them. So of course you'll be provided with different materials, placements that will help and guide you accordingly, and also there are committees and seniors available. So yeah, it starts as soon as you join the campus, and it's a long process, but of course it's quite interesting and you get to learn a lot. And of course, it can be unpredictable, as Aditya said, because again, the companies, you never know what they want. But I think the most important thing is to stay calm and basically keep your head down and keep on preparing and moving forward. Because again, in the end of the day, you'll get where you need to be and it all works out. So yeah.
Thanks a Thanks a lot, Aditya, for sharing what went through your mind while making that transition. So we'll just take one last question and then we'll end the session in the interest of time. So the question is IIM Calcutta so hard to survive? Like, okay, what should be some checklist if one wants to ensure that they can survive through the hectic schedules and everything? Okay, yeah, Aditya, please go ahead.
I would say just one thing. You cannot do it all. So there'll be lots of things when you get on campus. There'll be people who are focusing on studies. They want to get like 9 GPA, and then there are people who are active in every club or every event. There'll be people who are active in sports. Then there are almost everyone partying. So you have to be a bit selective. That will help you keep your sanity. If you try to do it all, then you'll find it really tough, like managing your sleep, your social life, and studies and extracurriculars. That can be a bit challenging. But I would say that look at it from the point of view that this is going to prepare you for life after MBA. Like these are the experiences that will help you survive and excel in the corporate world or whatever that you're going to do after MBA. So I think it's a lot of character building. Don't be afraid about it. Like every year, hundreds of students go through this, and everyone is going through that test or test of pressure or fire. And I think you'll enjoy the process. I mean, it's tough. I'm not saying it's easy. It is tough, but there are some certain things that you'll enjoy. And that is where your friends, your seniors, and everyone comes together, At IIM Joka, we say we leave no one behind. So be rest assured that you'll not be alone in this journey. There'll be people who are vouching for you, supporting you.
Thanks for sharing, Aditya. What about you, Ria?
Yeah, I kind of agree with everything Aditya said. I'd say pick what interests you, pick what you want to focus on, and then just work on that and go ahead with that. You can't do everything. Like, personally speaking, like, for me, I couldn't even attend like every party. We do party a lot. So, attending every party also is sometimes not a possibility. So, you do have to pick and choose. And I think it's very important to just stick your ground with what you picked and chosen. Like, there are a lot of people around you. There are a lot of people doing a lot of different things. There will be people who are trying to do everything, but that's not possible. Trust me, you can't do it. Even if you, no matter how much you try, you can't do it. So kind of just stick your ground, believe in yourself, believe in what you know yourself, and you know what you want at the end of the day. So yeah, it is grilling, it is a lot, but it's all worth it at the end. It teaches you a lot, it puts you through a lot, but it's worth it.
Thanks a lot, Ria. What about you, Ayush?
Yeah, so I think these Aditya and Riya covered most of it, but again, I repeat what they said. The most important thing is, of course, focus. Yeah, you need to know what you want to do, and of course, you can't do everything. So just, I think another thing is managing your time. So ensuring that you divide your day. Okay, this many hours I'll put for studies, this many hours maybe I'll put for extracurriculars, and maybe some hours week I specifically allocate for events or working on clubs. So you should be able to manage your time. And again, it's not that difficult. There are a lot of people to help you out. So it essentially you are able to do it. Just need to be very focused, and of course it teaches you very well how to manage your time, because in corporate I think that's a very important skill which you need. So yeah.
Thanks a lot Ayush, for sharing. All right, thank you so much, all the panelists, Aditya, Ayush, and Ria, for taking out the time and for answering the questions of participants and for helping them in their journey so that they can learn and they can prepare better for the upcoming future that they have. And thank you so much to all the participants for making the session very interactive. Thank you, guys. All of you have a nice weekend, and thanks a lot again for joining.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting this amazing session. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.